Hey guys, welcome back to the Pure Goddess channel. My name is Gwenly. I hope everyone's doing well. Happy Sunday. Okay. I'm over here doing I just bought some makeup and I'm trying it out. So I hope everyone's doing well. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks, right? You know, moving and changing locations in general. Moving in general is, you gotta get used to it, accustomed to the area, accustomed to, you know, rearranging your new home and, you know, getting comfortable. And that could take, honestly, it could take a while. It could take, when I was at my old place, it took me like 2.5 years to really feel. You know, I was going through a lot of warfare, so the last thing I would think about was getting used to. I just couldn't, I could barely clean my home. I was going through a lot of spiritual warfare and I could barely clean my home from the heaviness of it, of warfare, attacks, and just a bunch of crap, right? I just can't believe, like, I feel like I have, you know, coming here back to the Midwest, I just feel like a breath of fresh air. But then I have another load of like hidden feelings and resentment and trauma that I stored away in order to raise my child when I moved away from here. And in order for me to keep sane in life at that time, till now, till coming back and actually facing everything I went through living here from my pregnancy till I had my son, and after that as well, because things happened after when I wasn't here, which was very traumatizing. in just like a shock of like how much damage a person can do to you, or how much a person could damage your life, or bring into your life, you know? So I could finally, like, the details to everything. I am now facing, or even like putting two and two together, you know, putting the dots together to a lot of stuff. And it's not pretty, you guys. And what is being not, I mean, revealed to me, not necessarily, because a lot has already been revealed to me, but like the details that I didn't even have the energy or the time to look at, I am now looking at it, and it's, yeah, I need to heal. I need to, it's like I'm reliving everything again, right? And that's just how it goes, honestly. Reliving everything in a way that now I could face it, because now I have the capacity. Before, it's like I was a new mom and I needed to, you know, I was in charge of a child. Still am, but like a brand new baby, you know, I had to learn how to become a mom. And I had to focus on that, and it was just really, really hard, you know. It's like I've never had life be easy for me, but it was, life has never been easy for me, but this has been the hardest part so far, is learning to become, you know, becoming a mother and learning how to be a mother and taking care of my son. And, you know, for a while you could be on autopilot, in store, and throw everything under the rug, you know, just to survive, survival mode. Um, and that's what I had to do. And definitely the body takes the count, you know, like it is showing. Since I had my son, it's always shown on my body, you know. I couldn't heal properly or exercise because I was so depressed and so like not in the right mental state. I was so exhausted from all the warfare that was being thrown at me, but also all the trauma I had gone through with like postpartum, having a baby, not being with the father of the child, and just being treated like very badly, and just the amount of changes in my life really affect a person. And you know, I had to literally sit with myself and start healing, because I don't want to repeat the cycle like how my parents, you know, in a sense they're both healing, you know, in a sense. Parents, you know, when the kids get older, they start healing somewhat as they start maturing. um we're not perfect, and I am still healing. But, you know, you know, it's a process, and you know, my son's father obviously lives here, right? This is where we met. And it has been difficult, you know. It has been, you know, I guess happy thoughts, happy things, but also triggers. And a lot of triggering, but a lot of happy moments. You know, my son could see his dad every day, and his dad is in his life, you know, like everyday life. They live not too far away, etc. Let's see if I could. Okay. So like how I was saying, I think I just saw some people that I know. But hold on. Okay. I'm not used to the camera. It's been a while and I'm looking all sorts of weird. Like the angle sucks. I feel like a shorty, right? Okay. So let's get out of this parking. I am currently at the lake. I'm leaving now. So it's been hard, you guys. It's been really hard. Go ahead. 3, 2, 1. I keep saying 3, 2, 1. It's been hard, you guys. A lot of feelings and like things that I went through with my son's father, the relationship with him. I do the most awkward faces. So what I've realized, you guys, is a lot, right? A lot of resentment, anger. I guess I'm looking at this at another point of view, right? Like the new me, the person, like the Gwenly, the new version of myself, the Gwenly that now puts herself first in every way. Because I've never done that in my life. And so putting myself first in every, you know, like in my life. And then coming back here and not being back since I've left and since everything happened, and raising a child in the middle of all, I have a lot of anger and resentment, because it's like I'm super angry because, not that I didn't put myself first at that time, but more so just, I guess, and the love I have for myself, I'm just angry. Like, how can this, it's like when you you have someone you love, right? Like a sister, a sibling, a best friend, even a parent, or someone that you just love so much, right? Like a ride or die. And then they're just like, they tell you something awful that happened to them, like a horrible experience, in a relationship or whatever. And you get so angry for them. You love them so much, and it's like, it's not fair what they went through. Like, you don't deserve that. That's the type of anger I feel now for myself. Excuse me. For, like, not like a pity thing, but like, I didn't deserve to go through that, right? It's just a different perspective or point of view. 7-Eleven. And it's just very interesting, but like, it's just something I have to go through. I hate feeling like this. I thought I was over feeling resentment, and I thought I've forgiven, what has happened, and no, I still have like not so good feelings, and it's not my fault, but it hurts, it's like opening the wound again. And I knew that was gonna happen somehow, somewhat, but I didn't know it was like not gonna go away anytime soon, because it's still, it's been a month. I understand it's been a month since I've been here, but depending on how extreme situations are, I can heal pretty quickly, and yeah, so that's just, it's interesting to me, it's just very interesting, but I think it was the other way. I don't know what turn I took, but I think it was the wrong one. Since I'm recording, is it that way? Since I'm recording, you guys, I don't have my GPS, and so I got lost very quickly. Before, like, in the few years that I lived here, I mostly lived in another part of the Twin Cities. Yeah, I'm supposed to go the other way. The other part of the Twin Cities. Now I'm going to, like, Lord have mercy. I don't know where I'm at. I mean, I do, but I was supposed to go to that Starbucks. I don't always drink Starbucks. I don't drink, I drink coffee at home, but I kind of need a coffee right now, and I don't know where I am. I'm gonna have to turn the other way. So there's a lot of things coming up. I get triggered very easily, and for the stuff, the things I went through, mind you, My son's father's family is, you know, his sister now lives here. And his sister's partner, they're all from the same country, right? And then my son's father is with his ex-wife. And so they're still, it's like they tried to, not my son's father's partner, but because that's another story. We don't need to be best friends or anything like that with people like that, but so with my ex's sister, she's very neutral about things, and I don't know how much lies were told by my ex when I had left, and when they arrived a month later or a few weeks later. I don't know how many lies were told, but you know, it doesn't seem like there's like the full truth there. And when it comes to me, like, I've accepted myself. Oh, there we go, Starbucks is near. I've accepted who I am, and I'm like enjoying and being who I am, and I don't give a crap if I am like the most truthful person. Like, people don't want to hear the truth. I am going to be me, and if you don't like it, well, then you could close your ears or leave. You know, like, I'm not gonna shut up and make you feel not uncomfortable. I'm not going to not be me anymore, you know? That's just, like, that old me is dead and gone, you know? Hold on, guys. Okay, guys. So, I just got a coffee right now, and I made a new friend. I made a new friend. His name is JC, and I got his number because I literally have no one to talk to. It's a male, and he's like Filipino. He's been here for 6 years, I think, in Minnesota. So, and I don't know, I mean, I know people from the past, but you know, there's no way I'm gonna contact people from the past. But yeah, you know, it's just like making new friends and seeing, you know, what there is, you know, in common, and like things like this, you know. So that's exciting. Very open and like friendly person. And yeah, I've been resting a lot, you guys. Resting a lot with my son, and just not even, I mean, yes, planning here and there, you know, taking the next steps to see, you know, how we're going to, you know, getting familiar with like the city, with the area. It's been a month. The 15th was like a month since we started living here, like resident and of the city. And so it takes time. It really takes time, and patience, and I get, you know, my son comes first, finding all the spots for him. You know, because kids need to be outdoors. Kids need. So right now we're on a roll in like bike riding. My son is bike riding. I want to be able to get a bike that is connected to like the smaller bikes. So we just like, I take my son on bike rides. But those are a little pricey. And so for now, my son, you know, I take him to like the lake area and like he rides his bike for a few hours, literally a few hours. And he loves that. He gets exhausted, you know. And you know, it's always a few weeks is like growth. Kids, babies, they have growth spurts, right? When they're small. And I mean, I don't hear no one talking about like kids, even my son's age. He's 5 now, but like after a certain age, there's no more talking about growth spurts, you know? Every few months it's like they're changing, right? They're still changing. And I guess it's just not talked about. Unless you have other parents or like moms that have kids and you have friends that have kids and, you know, it's spoken about. But I don't really have anyone, you know? It's like, it's hard for us to like have friends, you know? We can't really relate to others like on social media, like, you know, people that post their content and stuff. Of course we relate, you know, like me myself, I'm a single parent. I relate to being a mother, right? In general, more a single parent, right? It's like no matter if dad is in his like literal life, you're still gonna be mom and dad when dad is like has gone, you know, has left the building. You know, is no longer with your son. You're still going to be mom and dad, you know? So it's like the load has like, if it's taken off of me a little bit, but at the same time no, because he's getting older and there's like tantrums or sometimes like more stronger or heavy, more attitude, things like this. But the good side is that since his father has, you know, he's seeing his father almost every day, it's not always going to be like this because his dad works a lot. But, you know, if he gets an hour a day or every other day with his son, that's fine. And that helps my son as well. And so that has helped, like, improved tremendously with his like behavior and things of this sort, and filling obviously the void, right? And that's one of the major things that you know, since leaving Minnesota when my son was 3 months old, I have struggled with. Like, of course I want, you know, to be here, but the situation and the parenting is so toxic. The mess that I was like put in was so bad that I wouldn't, it would be so toxic. Like I was toxic and I was away. Like I had to move away, you know? I had to leave because I couldn't even be sane or at peace like with myself, knowing all what was going on, you know? So, you know, you guys, it's definitely not easy. To be in a situation like this, you know, but both parties have to be willing to, you know. And I made the decision to drive over here because it's like I don't have anything to lose. leaving the state I grew up in. I felt literally my soul dead. I didn't feel like there was anything left for me in that state, right? And I was just like, I think my son's father is mature enough and capable of handling his duties as a parent, you know? And so, I just decided to stay here, you guys. But, you know, I'm like, it's fine. And so we came here, and you know, we just always have to be prepared for anything, right? And, you know, in life in general. But I really don't like my position. But you know, like, we see a lot of people in general, you guys, that just brush things under the rug as if doing that, ignoring that, it never happened. And that's what my son's father's family did, basically. And that's what I noticed when I secondly met his sister, because I think it was in 2024, she had sent a text message to me around Christmas time, saying, hi, how are you guys, and things like this. You know, I never received anything from her. You know, everyone has their own life and, like, goes through their own stuff. But, you know, that was very insulting for me. And so, you know, like, after how many years you have been here in America, and you are since 2021, so, you know, how long did it take for you to send a text message to even talk to your nephew, right? And that was insulting to me. So I shut her down right away. At that time, yes, I was still, you know, dealing with my son's father and just being petty and having resentment and not being able to forgive him fully. And I'm still in the process of that, but not as heavy as it was back then in 2024 or even last year. And so, you know, so I saw her a second time, and I was just like, I can't have a clean conscience if, like, you're gonna be, not that we're gonna see each other every day or anything, but you're gonna be in our lives, right? You're gonna see my son sometimes, since we do live in the same city. And let's just get this out of the way. Like, people could easily ignore stuff, and some families are like that. You know, they get together only for special occasions, and like, you know, that's them. But me, I am all about like get things cleared straight. You know, if you have bad feelings, if you have whatever, let's get this like across, get it over with. Because if you're going to be in my son's life, then things need to be cleared out. I'm not gonna be anything else but that, right? And so and if that doesn't work out and you truly don't like me and you don't want me in your life, then you can't be in my son's life, right? But you know, I had mentioned that text message I sent her back then, and I'm like, this is how I felt, you know, and this and that, and she mentioned some stuff too. I apologized, but obviously things were not clear because it's like she doesn't want to touch the subject fully. And that's just her lifestyle, you know. People don't want to see the truth for what it is because that's just how they live, you know. And I can't push her or pressure her to see what it truly is, to see like, you know. And people are just going to live how they want to live, right? They will look at me as the bad guy, or look at me like I'm too extra, I'm too much, you know, because people are not used to people like us that speak the truth, that want clarity, that just want, you know, like sincere people. Like, yes, I was feeling this way and this and that. No, they're gonna like act like, oh, we're family, and like, yeah, my brother, he's like this and he's like that, and we know his behavior, how he acts or how he is. But it's like they're just like going around and around, you know. There's no getting like clarity or like nipping it in the butt situation, you know. And that's just how people want to live, you know. And then they want to keep their true honest feelings within. And when people do that, there is resentment, there is like, oh, I don't like her, there is like things like this that they keep within. But like, hey, us chosen ones, we can't be fooled. First of all, ever. Like, we know how people be feeling. Do you think we always want to know how people feel or think? No. We don't. We honestly, we like our peace so much. Like, that's why we stay away from a lot of people, because like, we know what the fuck they're thinking. We know their thoughts, we know how they feel, we know, like, we read energy, man. And we don't have to be in the same room to read energy. You can be coming on your way, you can be around the area, you can be whatever. Like, if we tap in, we can feel, we know. Anyone could call us crazy, but we know what it is. And that's just what it is, right? But I'm not going to be, I'm just not, you know. And so the first 2 weeks, that's what it was, right? It's like, oh, like family, my nephew and this and that. And same with my ex's eldest daughter. She's a teenager now, so it's like a lot of hanging around with me. And like, I met this girl when she was like before puberty, you know, like she was like innocent, just a little girl, you know. And what was it, 2022, like 4 years ago, and she was just an innocent girl, you know. And it's just like, I'm not gonna hit on any kids, you know. It's like it's like so normal to be like this, like exes, and like if they have kids of other, you know, with other people, like people resent the kids too. And it's like, how can you, you know, And it's just like, I pray for kids in general, but for my ex's kids too, because it's like, the shit your father or your mother do that is like not good, you know, and it affects the children, you know. And if parents or adults don't want to change their behavior, then that's another thing. It's even worse. But now, you know, the first first week and a half, it was all like buddy buddy. And then after a few days went by, you know, we didn't really speak or hang out, you know. With the daughter, it's like attitude and just a lot of like if there was like hatred, you know. And it's normal for kids, like, they're all siblings, you know, different mothers, same father. So they're, you know, they're meeting, and there's always going to be crashing of siblings, you know, like time spent with dad and like some jealousy, like, is normal for brothers and sisters to go through that, right? It takes some time to get comfortable, you know. And that's something that, you know, I made aware to like my son, that it's normal to feel these feelings, because just like he feels like that, his brother and sister feel the same way, you know. But there's some things that, you know, that I see that others can't see, that is there, you know. It's like, oh well, he is from like a different mom, so, you know, they're gonna feel some type of way, some sort of jealousy, you know. And it's just unfortunate, you know. And it comes from the mother's side, you know. And it's just, you know, that's just, I don't even want to get into the other person's, you know. It's just a lot of toxicity. Oh my god. I don't fight or play dirty. We let God deal with things, but juicy drama that can occur if I am petty as well. And like, you know, the other type of female is very like just toxic, like pop out abruptly, you know, behavior, personality. You know. And it's just like, that's not gonna work for me, you know. Like, I had to meet her once since coming here, I think the first few days, because we didn't have a place to live yet, you know. So we were staying at like a hotel at that time. And so I didn't have, like, my son, he was spending time with his dad at his dad's house. And I didn't have nowhere else to go, right? And I was like talking to like the daughter, the oldest daughter. And we were like in the side of the house, you know, like by the backyard. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable going inside their home. Obviously, you know, the wife is there and everything. And don't even get me started on like what she did to be with my ex. But she plays dirty, very dirty. So, you know, there was witchcraft manipulation done during my pregnancy. a lot of bullying, online bullying during my pregnancy, coming from her when she was still in her country, and her people, her sisters, her friends. And so I know her energy already. Like, I just, we smell toxicity. Like, people can't fool us. Like, we read energy first before we speak, you know? Before we hear people speak, before we see people. So, I know what it was before she was even in the States, right? I know what it was before my ex and her, were together. I warned him. I warned my ex about her, and he did not care. And now he's just dropped. But, she tries to cover it by going to church every Sunday. And, people who live a life of, like, they ignore stuff. Everyone just keeps to themselves. They ignore, like, the truth, the reality. Well, they're not going to want to see things like that. They're just going to look the other way or not even try to discover the truth, to the situation. And I used to live like that too, and a lot of people used to live like that until they wake up, or if they wake up. People don't want to wake up too. And so, so that time my son was at his dad's house, and I was there, and his dad and his daughter was like, well, you could come and hang out in here, like in the downstairs area. And me and his daughter, we went to the store to buy some, like, snacks and stuff, and we were just there sitting, right? Kids shouldn't be shouldn't have to put themselves on one side. Kids should not be like, even, oh, I'm on this person's side and she's my enemy, or we don't like her. Like, kids shouldn't be put in that position. And I had to distance myself from the daughter, and because I started saying some things that were not right. And of course, if I tell the dad, he's not gonna believe me, or he's gonna act like he's clueless because he don't want to see the truth. But I'm like, let's just distance ourselves, and that's it. But that day, I was sitting with the eldest daughter. We're having like chips and stuff and just talking, right? And she's talking about like school and bullies and like taking a good route in life, and like what you want to do for school, or like things like this, and I'm a sincere person. I don't I don't have a dark, deep, like dark bad motive when I meet people or when I talk to people. So I can be, what I can do is be friends with my ex's daughter, right? Be friends, be friendly, and like, not that I need to, but because I want to, right? And so that was that. And the lady was upstairs, and I'm like, well, I don't feel comfortable, but I don't have nowhere else to go. Yes, I could go to my car, but so a few minutes later she comes down, and you know, I was just there. The daughter went upstairs and she comes down and she's like, oh, you know, and it's just a part of like their culture, I think. Um, but, you know, she was like, you know, like if you ever need someone to watch your son or whatever, you know, like he will be fine here. You know, I wouldn't hurt him or I wouldn't touch him in the way that she was saying, because I guess that's what Hispanics say. To me, I was like, what? But I guess I'm more Americanized. I don't know. Everyone has their own way of like understanding each other. But she was speaking very like, like if she was forced to speak, you know. And I understand, you know. I'm just like, out of respect, I can just say hi, and that's it. You know, it's up to your wife if she wants to come and say hi, and it's up to you to be respectful for both of us. You know, is it okay for me to come inside here and sit down? It's not gonna be every day, right? I'm not sitting next to her, I'm sitting in another room, right? And so hanging out with their daughter, right? And so you know, very, very quick talking. And I'm like, okay, well, you obviously don't want to speak, and that's fine. And I'm just like, okay. And then, you know, just saying some stupid shit, you know, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like you want to poke at the bear, but like be talking fast, but like, you know, it's like people don't like, they don't waste time to be petty, do they? You know, and I'm just, you know, she's just like, oh, you know, we're glad that, you know, you decided to come and live here. So, you know, my husband could be close to his son, and, you know, with all this situation, you know, my husband has been hurt, you know, it's hurt him. And I'm like, okay, like that's none of your business, you know, like, but why would, you know, I get it, but it's just like, well, you're talking about like if I put someone through something, excuse you, do you know what your husband did? You know, so it's just like people just throw everything under the rug, you know. They want to play the card of like, we're the victim here and I'm the bad guy, because they don't want to see the truth and they don't want to see what they've done. Now they need to face the truth. They need to face reality. I am in their life, literally. You know, and it's not about war. It's not about fighting. It's, you know, it's not about being petty or anything like that. I don't want to get back at anyone because I don't give a shit. But people, this is how they're thinking, you know? Like, I've come for blood. And it's like, if I wasn't in this space in my life where I can move on, like, yes, I still have certain things I have to, you know, feelings that have like come up that I have to deal with and heal still, but I'm peaceful. I'm like in my own, like, leave me alone, let me be, I'll let you be, this is your life, this is my life, I'm here because of this, you know, I moved because of my son so he's close to his father, like. But people's mentality, it's like, as much as they try to hide, you know, or tug it away or act like it don't bother them, it does, right? And so it's like, you can't play Like, you're playing yourself, you know? And that's what's been going on, you know? And I haven't seen this lady, you know, since that day, but it's like, you know, people just act like they're better than you because, you know how worldly world is. It's like, oh, I have this, I have that, I have this, and I have that, and I'm in a better position than you, even though who's at peace more if you're living in like a 9-to-5 slave job? You know, our mentalities are very different, but for people like this, it's like, oh, I have all this material stuff. You don't have anything. Like, this is their mentality, because they used to not have anything. They used to be in their own, you know, their own city. They had just the basic necessities, and coming to America is just like, oh my God, I have everything. I'm rich. I materialistically, I have it all, and this, and you know, it's like, that's the role and like the game they're playing at this time. And it's just like, I could care less, because my mentality, you know, very different realities. And that's another thing that needs to be worked on with my son's father, because if we are raising a child together and we live very different realities, you know, his father he sees things, he understands things that are my reality, the way I live my life, because he needs to understand how his child is going to live as well. Yes, there are things that he will learn from his dad, you know, lifestyles or things that he will instill in his life as a man, as a boy, that are important, you know, coming from like culturally, or the way his father was raised, you know, and everyone has good qualities, everyone has not so good qualities as well, but it's just very, 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 it's a lot. And imagine all of this for a child. It's a lot to even like absorb, to even think, you know. So today, it's been a few weeks since he last saw his, you know, his father's other children, and so we'll see, you know, we'll see how, hopefully things are better, you know, but there is still some, oh, my father's time, I want my father's time, and then, you know, a little bit of jealousy here and there. You know, the boy, his other son, is like smaller, so he's obviously smaller, he needs parents more, and my son is, you know, it just takes time, but that's what I'm dealing with at this time. And just the bullshit in general, you guys, and it's almost an hour. With moving to a new environment, a new city, a new place, people not knowing you, people, you know, worldly people who are like judging by what you have, by whatever, like, oh, you don't have this, you don't have that, and they're judging you, you know. Oh, you're not married, you don't have a partner, oh, they're judging you. Oh, I have a family, you know, it stings, you guys. I just laugh at the end of the day, because people think that we don't know how they feel and what they're thinking, you know, like us, I don't even know, like, I get tired of saying like, oh, it's chosen ones, and like, you know, but we know what it is. We know, like, they don't need to say nothing, right? We know what the hell they're they're feeling, or they're judging at, and things like this, and then they want to give you the face of they're the opposite, or they're kind, and like they're here for you, you know. And like that's what's going on with the people I'm renting from. It's like the wife is just a whole drama queen, and I'm like, I don't deal with people who, yes, you can be beautiful, you can be pretty, but like, that character, the way you treat others, or the way you think you are better than others, is what makes you ugly. Anyone who thinks like that, you know, it's like everyone shits stinks, you know. Like, we're all human beings, like, you know. It's just, that's just how people are, you know. And I used to be envious and jealous of people who, because us chosen ones, we've never had an easy life. Everyone has their own traumas or their walks of life that are very different, but we've always had like a very hard life. And coming like as a female, I have always wanted a father to be there for me, you know. And so not having a father who is present, who really knows me, has caused a lot of issues in my life. And I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but coming here, moving states, has really brought so much like things that I need to heal, like father wounds, like a lot of father wounds. And it's just like, I don't want to even speak to my dad. Like, he has contacted me, and I sent him, you know, a general message, you know, and just here and there. And like, what I don't understand, and of course I'm still like, I need to heal from this, you know. And it's just maybe because my, you know, my son's father is in my son's life again, and I'm just like really focusing on how my son is going to be raised, you know. And how I don't want to not that I'm afraid of, like, no one wants to repeat cycles. I'm not afraid of such thing, but I'm going to do whatever is possible to not do that, or not to get to a point where that could happen. And so that's just bringing a lot of like, a lot of feelings back that I need to heal from, like father wound. You know, I feel so, these past few weeks, I felt like the most liberated, felt free, like new location, new change, you know. And I just need to find a home, you know. Like, the place I'm at, I don't feel like it will be my home for the long term. So I need to find an area, you know, more nature, things like this, where I feel comfortable and like more at home, at peace, that will, you know, that I will be able to create like a home base for the next few years, you know, for my son and I. But this place we're at, yes, we're making it our home, you know, we're buying things. Like, we just got a dining table with chairs a few days ago. And yeah, it's secondhand stuff, but it's always like, it's a wood table. It's always a table that I've always wanted, like, for like ever. It's like very old school, like very grandma-ish. I don't know, but you know, just buying things that are like intentional, that we're gonna cherish and love, not just buying it because we're buying it because we need it. It's like, I would rather not have a sofa or a dining table because I don't want that one. You know, like, if my son's father were on Facebook Marketplace, or like, checking other places that are secondhand. Oh, what about this? What about, like, if I don't like it, I'm not gonna like it. Like, I would rather eat like in the kitchen counter, on the floor. It don't matter, you know, just because, like, we're on an air mattress right now. Like, we're comfortable until we're ready to buy, like a mattress. Or like, my son and I, we were sleeping on a Japanese style like futon, and like, material things don't matter like that. It's like, oh my god, what are people gonna think? We don't have this. We, like, who gives a crap? Like, it's crazy. But yeah, my neighbors are something else as well. And it's like, the wife is just a whole drama queen mess. And I'm just like, I don't compete with people. I'm not like, all that female drama stuff. It's not me. And like, don't act like I'm in it, because I'm not. Like, mind your business. I'll mind my business with my family, with my son. You mind your business with your family. Like, are you that bored in your life that you don't have nothing else to do but, like, like, people just, it's not all about you. And it's just like, if people don't calm down, and then the husband is like, oh yeah, we really like enjoy, or we really love, like, we feel good that you're living here, but the wife is acting another way. Like, who are you fooling? It's just like, I know looks are deceiving, right? Like, because people definitely think by how I look, or how I speak, how I present myself, I present myself very humble. I don't show off with my clothes. I present very humble and kind and respectful. And people think I'm stupid for that reason, or like, I can't stand up for myself, And yeah, that was me, the old me. Now it's just like, I'm not gonna keep being nice and sweet and respectful, but I will have some sort of like straight talk. It's just like, my attitude is not gonna, my behavior is not going to be the same always. Like, you want to look at me as a fool, or like, you're telling me one thing but your partner's presenting something else, and it's like, she clearly doesn't like me, because it's all spiritual, right? It's like, your soul don't like me because you're not walking on the right path. You're into shit, and like, no. I'm not trying to take your husband away or anything like that. Like, I don't understand people who are renting out to others, but they can't handle sharing space with others. It's just like, it don't make sense at all. Like, you have to, like, if you're gonna rent out to other people, like, you have to have your own space and I have mine. You're renting out to me, We are paying rent to you. It's not free. So you don't have a say so, or you can't be acting, immature. Like, people are just like delusional. And I guess I just needed to like vent because even if I have friends or people to talk to, I don't think I would be speaking to them about this because I have trust issues, you guys. You really gotta you really have to like be able to trust someone in order to like talk like this. And I know the people that listen to my YouTube videos, and I could care less how they feel or what they think. Some may be good, but a lot of them are haters that are watching people from the past that can't like live their own fucking life. They need to be checking what the heck I'm up to, right? And whatever else, right? But it's funny because a few days later, like there's some dark shit, and a few days later after like people are, we moved here, and I'm like, I know when I was pregnant with my son, I was like 3 or 4 months pregnant. I started getting a ton of like bully, like phone calls and text messages, like leave this person, don't be with him, and like about my son's father, and like just a bunch of like calls, right, from like their country as well. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Well, a lot of bullying, right? And like a week and a half after we arrived here, I started getting like a lot of like friend requests, like on Instagram, like follow requests. And then their profile, like bio or whatever it says, it's just like a spam account, right? A fake account. And it just says, oh, I'm here in a new city, but I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Can you believe that? Like bullying. And I'm like, I know who the heck is coming from, but like, you are kind, you are nice to people, even though those people play dirty as fuck, and like they're dirty, nasty people. And we leave things we let go and leave things to God. Like, I'm not gonna lower myself down to people's like dirty level, we just can't do it, even if we wanted to, even if we think about it sometimes. It's just like, we will never do that. We will never like get physical with someone unless it happens first, right, to defend ourselves. But we will never do that for nobody. It's just like, it's disgusting behavior. Like, you really are dirty, like, just that energy is just like, damn. But yeah, I got like follow requests with a bunch of like petty stuff like being said on their bio. I think I got up to like 3 or 4, and I just like blocked all of them, right? Because I'm like, okay, I'm not even gonna deal with this, or like even put attention to it, right? Put energy into it. But it's just like, wow, like you guys just, what the fuck? I don't know, man. People are so miserable and bored in their lives, like, and people just, like, what fear are you gonna bring to me that You know, we don't fear, like, God-fearing woman, man, we don't fear no one but the Lord. And a few months ago, I followed this young man who raps about like God and being a Christian and Jesus Christ, and you know, he loves, and he also is a motivational talker. And young man, and he was like something about fearing God, and I'm just like, fearing God? No, we don't fear God. But like now I get it, you know, because I have matured. In my walk, and you know, I see the perspective now. Before I couldn't, you know, and now I have matured more, and I see the perspective and where he said, you know, in a post on YouTube about fearing God, you know. You know, and we shouldn't fear no one but God, right? And we shouldn't have fear of nobody, even if we're being bullied or threatened or anything like that, you know. It's just like, it's crazy how we're in 2026. Like, do you see what's happening in the world right now? What has been happening, like, even a few days ago, I'm like, what the fuck, this reality? Like, literally time. And there's videos on YouTube that they're talking about it, like, time. What the heck is going on with the time? Like, I feel like the atmosphere, the energy, or like the it has stopped, or it has slowed down. It just feels very weird. It's like I can hear, but I can't hear the world, like the outside noise, in a sense. And the reality, it's like I'm literally, oh my God, I'm being taken out of like the noise and the worldly stuff. Like, I'm seeing from like a higher perspective, like literally, like I'm on another planet. Like, I'm seeing like from a very high perspective. I'm just looking at the world from like up high. And I'm just watching, and I'm just like, everything around me, like not the worldly stuff, but like my reality, like my area, my space is like slow motion. It's just like, I don't know. Some days lately, this past week, every few hours, it's like my reality just stops, and I feel like I'm on a ride that makes me dizzy. Not like the super fast ones, but like, you know, it's just ones that take you like this, and then it starts slowing down towards the end, and it just goes like that, and like there's no noise, but it's slowing down. And then when it stops the ride, now you could hear the outside noise, the people at the carnival or whatever, the people there, you know, kids screaming from other rides and like things like this. Everything goes back to normal. But like, I feel like I'm in my own ride, and I feel dizzy sometimes too, because it's like the whole world, like my outside surrounding, like it's moving fast, but like my world, my vicinity, like my bubble, it's like, it's my own peace, it's my own reality. Like, it's just, I see everything from like a higher perspective as well. It's really interesting and like weird. I'm just like, I need to sit. I can't even digest this right now. Like, I don't know, like the changes, like I don't understand, but like I see, you know, God I see, but I don't understand, you know? And it's just very interesting. And I'm like, seriously, I'm just in a season where I need to like sit and wait for the Lord. And before, you know, a few months ago, a year ago, I was just very antsy. Like, I'm not used to sitting, right? It's like survival mode my whole life. And like, I would have like tantrums. Like, I don't want to stay still. Like my whole life is going to shit in a sense, you know, like I'm losing this and that and this and like what. And now I'm comfortable like sitting down and being still and letting God, right? But it's hard still. And like, and now that there's more people in my life and my son's, you know, talking about my ex's family and them knowing and them asking, you know, it's like if these people are in my life but not in my life in a sense, like not that they're strangers, but like they know, they're gonna ask, oh, is she working, you know, is she this, oh, how are they, blah blah blah. And it's like people are gonna be judging, like, oh, she don't have a job yet, oh, she this and that, like, you know, like this, because they come from a country where they don't make a lot of money over there, right? Jobs, lifestyle, everything's very different when you live in like not the city but like the outskirts, very country style, right? They walk on like dirt roads and all this stuff, you know, their homes are concrete, they're different. So coming to America, they're gonna think, you know, that they're rich, they have everything, and like of course you're gonna feel that way. And you know, but compared to someone who was raised and lives here, a 9 to 5 is like deadly, you know. For them it's like, let's work all we can to have all the material things that we didn't back home. And it's understandable, but at the same time, like, this is you and this is me, you know, like people have to respect each other's lifestyles. And like, you know, it tends to happen where that's gonna happen, you know. But I'm more comfortable in people like not caring what people think anymore. And I'm just so grateful. It's like I'm starting not to remember how I used to be. 1, 2, 3. I'm starting to remember, not to remember how I not used to be, like how I used to be. Yeah, sometimes it's just like, I guess I'm more comfortable in like my new reality now of like who I'm meant to be, you know? Not who I was told I was to be, how I was raised, how I was conditioned, you know? Like, this is the new me, this is the me, like what God wants, what God, like who God created me to be, you know? It's like, he's forming me into the person, you know, who he wants me to be, who he created to be in my mother's womb, you know. And it's just, I'm just in awe. It's just like every day I'm just like living in peace, even though there's so much, like, there could be toxic or petty shit or like whatever going on. It's just a different reality. And it's just, I don't even know how to explain it, right? But people are crazy. And I'm just like, okay, well, to hell with you. In a way, like, I'm not gonna like waste any more of my time with anyone in my life, because it's all about me and where God wants me to be and go. You know, and right now it's just like rest. Rest, rest, rest. Resting, you know, and just a peaceful time. Even though I'm dealing with like my son, and like he has his moments, man. But I'm spending a lot more time with him. And we are, you know, he's getting older, and he's like my own little best friend now. He's like my best friend now, you know, like he's at that age where he wants to be with his mama, you know? He wants to create, he wants to do and hang out, and it's just so cool. Like, it don't matter if it's a boy and I'm a girl, you know? But I just feel very blessed that I haven't lost myself, that I haven't lost my child. Cause it's bad. Shit is bad in this world. I don't want to regret ever losing my son because of this fucking system. You know? But you know, I trust in the Lord, trust in God that we're gonna be okay. 1, 2, 3 again. You know? And everything's gonna be okay. There are things that have manifested. You know, that I wished for 7 years ago. And now 333 that I currently have it. Things that we forget, we have wished and hoped for or desired, and we have them at this time. You know, God will always give you what you ask for. But the shit we have to go through and heal and deal with and conquer and be obedient to, you know, it's like, damn, it's hard. It's hard. The spiritual warfare, man, it's hard. And like how I was promised, we are never gonna go through the same spiritual warfare like how we used to go through, man. And not as heavy, and oh man, that's why I feel like I'm like heaven on earth, truthfully, you know. And it's just like, this is how regular people be living, man. You know, and especially if you sin more, you're gonna be living more sweet, right? Because people are toxic as heck. It's raining, but it's crazy, man. Oh wow. need to change my windshield wipers because they're not working anymore. I haven't changed them since before coming on my 25-hour road trip drive. They have not been changed because it has barely rained here, but today is sprinkling, and it's very like the smears. Well, you know what it is? It's not bad right now. What happened is it hasn't rained for a few days. Last time it was sprinkling was like almost 2 weeks ago, but I haven't washed my car since leaving Oregon because I'm not gonna be wasting money. Like, my priorities are different. My whole perspective in life has changed since moving as well, and that's just, I guess, part of everything. You know, it's like, it's crazy. And I have been seeing 144 like crazy everywhere, obviously. But, yeah. I have been feeling very, very lonely, you guys. I have been feeling very lonely. I don't know. So, I'm like, I need to go to therapy, but like, I don't ever feel like I need to go to therapy because I have God. You know, like, if we have a relationship with the Lord, you know, we just talk to God, we pray to God, and like, we have a relationship with the Lord. Like, He's gonna hear us, and He's gonna answer us, and He's gonna listen to us, right? Like we're so independent as well, you know. It's like we're used to not needing nobody, right? As well. And it's very hard to even like understand us too. Like, people don't understand us like normal people. So it's like, I'm gonna do my job is to translate as much as I can for the therapist and psychologist to understand, but then they're not at a level where they can, like, we're gonna do the job for them. Like, that's how elevated we are with like consciousness stuff, understanding. Like, we fucking do it. Like, we heal like quick. It don't take us months to like get shit done or to heal. You know, like, yeah, psychological shit, of course it takes time, right? But the understanding part of like why it happened, like, we get that shit quick, you know, if we want to. If we don't, then yeah, if we're hard-headed, then that's another story. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna cut the video right now and maybe record again and talk about another topic. I don't know. But to whoever listens to me, like, good and bad, I feel like I could help you guys, and I help myself. Talking out loud helps me to, it's like therapy. It helps me in my truth and speaking my truth, literally, even if it's in my car on camera. It helps me to, I guess, reflect, you know. It's interesting how it works, and I really, really am thankful for, like, you know, recording, like, camera, like, phone, social media in this aspect, not the other aspects where people are stupid as fuck, but this aspect, I think everyone should do it, you know. And you grow as a person too, even though people may not comment on your stuff, but us, we know what people be thinking, or what helps people by us talking about certain things, right? And I feel like I'm ready to speak and to record about, especially when I feel depression or I feel lonely. I feel comfortable being on camera now. In the days that I don't feel my best, I'm starting to get there. Not just, oh, I feel good today and I'm gonna talk, I'm gonna record, you know. So that's another thing. So, you know, there's gonna be days where I feel mad, I feel sad, I feel depressed, and I'll be able to talk about the things that, well, are bothering me or I'm angry at, you know. And so, you know, that's another, you know, desire and hope I have, is that I can be, you know, I'm becoming the most authentic person I can be, you know, in my life for myself, truthful, because I have been silent and quiet for most of my life. And so, you know, I'm proud of myself each and every day for standing 10 toes down, and who I am and who I believe in, our Lord Jesus Christ, and who I stand for and what I stand for, and who I fear and who I only fear, because no man will I have fear of, but the Lord, you know. And that scares people. But you know, like, psychological shit don't faze me anymore. Psychological manipulation from men don't faze me anymore. You can't, you know, it don't matter if you're single or not. Like, men be testing. It's like, especially men that are married, they be testing you, like, no, that's not gonna work for me. Like, you can't get me in your little fingers, you know, like, them acting a certain way, and then when they really are not saying what they feel or mean, it's like, no. Like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave you there. Like, you're just gonna stay, you know, like, they want to excite something, like, make it to be like, oh my god, more than it is, you know, like, shit with, like, sparkles on it, basically. That's how men speak. And it's like, no, well, I'm gonna leave you in, like, the base, like, the literally, like, silent tone with you. Like, you you know, people are weird. But, and then don't even start with females. Females are fucking nuts. Females are nuts. Like, they're not toxic anymore. They're like, psh, lunatics now. It's crazy, man. But anyways, you guys take care of yourselves. God bless everyone and anyone. our Lord Jesus Christ is God. You guys, He's the only way, He's the life, He's the truth. He is our life, He is our force. You know, He is love. You know. So yeah, God bless you guys, and live in love. Live a positive life. You know, everyday positive life, no matter what shits hit the fan. Stay positive and optimistic. Doesn't matter if you're smiling or not, we still are optimistic and positive. I don't need to be smiling to think or say to others that I am, because I am. For example, you know, like, I'm not gonna be fake. If I want to smile, I will. If I don't, then I won't. That doesn't mean I'm like depressed or crabby or anything. I'm not fake. But yeah, reality is crazy, because I'm around people sometimes, or I talk to people sometimes that are just like in a different fucking reality, and it's just like, ugh, like I want to puke. like literally I feel nauseous today. But it's just like, what the fuck? I don't want to see that shit, you know? Sometimes it's just like, man, don't bother. You know, and whatever. Okay, bye.